Welcome back to the Changing Earth podcast with author Sarah F. Hathaway and co-host Chen Gibson. Blending survival, fiction, and fact to bring you entertaining education that will help you dream, survive, and thrive. And now, here's your host, Sarah F. Hathaway and Chen Gibson.
Hello, and welcome back to the Changing Earth podcast. Okay, you gotta forgive me. This is episode number 320, season 10, episode 11. We are welcoming the Prepper Broadcasting Network for the first time live. So, hello, Prepper Broadcasting Network, and welcome to the show. Silly me, I didn't bring my phone to watch the live chat, so I'm going to go grab that in a second. But we are doing the live chat via Element now, and you can get directions on how to do that if you're one of my regulars at Prepper Broadcasting at prepperbroadcasting.com. I got that right, Chin?
Sounds good to me.
All right, what's up, Chin?
Hey, chin's up, y'all.
Man.
This is exciting.
I know, exciting stuff.
I had to spin the tunes. We were doing all kinds of crazy rock coming into this, getting you all ready to rumble.
Let's get ready to rumble. Yeah, so we're having fun today, and we got Ellen Kerr from Australia with us. Hello, Ellen. How you doing today?
G'day all. Yeah, I'm all right.
All right, hanging in there?
It's our first day of somewhat of freedom today. A little bit of freedom, just a touch.
Just a tease? They're just teasing you with it now? Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, like I say, I'm welcoming the Prepper Broadcasting Network today. So we're going to do like a little rundown of how the show goes. Usually we talk about the chapter in the book that we're on first. We're currently on The Bitter End, which is the last novel in my 8-novel series. So if you want to go get caught up, you got to go over to my website, changingearthseries.com. Become a member. You don't even have to go behind the paywall, and you get access to all the archives so you can go back to the very beginning of the book series. Never fear, because if you haven't read my book series, it doesn't really matter at all. We take a topic from the chapter and we explore it. Today's topic is going to be tracking mechanisms. So Ellen knows a thing or two about what's going on in Australia with that, so we're going to explore that in just a little bit. But in The Bitter End, last week, the Moore family went on their family vacation into the central region. We went to prepper camp. The Moores went to go mess up TJ's world a little bit. So this week, we're diving back into TJ Swenson's story. And if you haven't read the story yet, you guys can get access to the audiobooks. I do an audiobook a month, plus the audiobook that we're on at my membership site as well. You do have to go behind the paywall for that, and that's changingearthseries.com. Or go over to YouTube, go over to my actual website and listen to the post-recorded show, and I do put that chapter in when it's there. So for all of you that are listening to the record, you're going to hear the story right about now. Chapter 11. TJ Swenson paced the tent in his command center the next morning. His mind spun with indecision. He wanted to continue the journey to Dallas, but Dolores's recent injury was going to be a problem. TJ, Yuri called, entering the tent. A short-statured man followed Yuri in. He removed his hat, scarf, and goggles, revealing his dark hair. Dr. Bones, how good it is to see you, Swenson elated. Have you seen Dolores? Yes. Yuri brought me up to speed before bringing me here, Dr. Bones admitted, not wanting to waste Swenson's time. Can I move her? We have to get to Dallas, Swenson insisted. We can try. I have a whole caravan of slow-moving trucks, TJ. You won't like the speed I travel, Dr. Bones warned him. Swenson paced back and forth, frustrated by his words. Your trucks can follow, and you will travel with us, Swenson insisted. Dr. Bones's face furrowed with concern. My life's work is on those trucks, TJ, he countered. Don't test my patience, doctor. I need you, and you will come. My men will ensure your trucks make it. I'll put Diaz on it, Swenson assured him. Dr. Bones seemed satisfied. He knew of Diaz's impeccable work and Swenson's respect for the man. I'll go make sure she's ready to move, he acquiesced, leaving the tent. Within the hour, Swenson's crew was loaded into the vehicles. The exhaust blew thick in the air as Swenson approached with Yuri, Christy, and the baby. I know that bastard did this to her, Swenson cursed. DJ? Yuri wondered out loud. Yes, that fucking prick. Look what he did to Dolores, Swenson fumed. He probably planned this because she wouldn't go with him. I told you from the start, Yuri began to say, but Swenson cut him off. Shut the hell up, Yuri. I don't want to hear your bullshit right now. I know you never trusted him, and you're a pouty bitch because I wouldn't listen. Boo frickin' who? Swenson snapped at him. The awkward silence was deafening as they drove down the old highway. Christy jumped and the baby began to fuss as Swenson's radio crackled loudly, and Dr. Bones asked for him. What? Swenson barked. The movement is aggravating Dolores's injury. I can't stop the bleeding in this SUV. I suggest we halt at the camp I had set up in Wichita Falls. I was planning on stopping there to stabilize some of my experimental samples anyway. I have a full clinic set up already, Dr. Bones told him. Fuck! Swenson cursed with frustration. Then he pushed the button on the device again and replied, Do it. His eyes were as black as night with anger. You go, Yuri insisted. Take Christy and the baby and go to Dallas. I'll stay with Dolores. Yuri, don't tell me my business, Swenson snapped at him. He had seen the sparkle of freedom in Dolores's eyes in Vernon. He wasn't leaving her here to recover alone. Yuri didn't respond. He watched Christy and the baby, dreaming of his own family. They pulled into the camp within the hour. Swenson quickly exited the vehicle and headed straight for Dolores. As the door to the SUV opened, his eyes met Dr. Bones's. He looked worried, and his hands were coated in blood. Get a medic team over here now, Swenson yelled to some of the soldiers coming to attend the doctor. Yes, sir, the soldier said, recognizing Swenson. He clumsily snapped orders to the men with him before rushing off. They were back in a moment with the stretcher. Take her to my main tent, Dr. Bones directed as Dolores was unloaded onto the board. Swenson watched them go, standing for a moment with Yuri. Have Crawford and Baker stay with Christy and the baby. Post Rick outside with Westsmith. Nobody moves until I get there. Tell Wayne and Adams to go get some rest, Swenson told him. Satisfied with his instructions for Yuri, he walked towards the medical facility. The soldiers guarding the tent took a knee to him as Swenson entered. Watching Dr. Bones work on the wound in Dolores's side, Swenson had his doubts about her ability to survive. What's hit, doctor? Swenson wondered. I'm hoping nothing major, TJ, the doctor responded. It just likes to bleed. I don't have a CT scan, so only time will tell. However, if her bowels were ruptured, the wound would probably smell much worse, the doctor said with a nerdy smile. Swenson noticed Dolores's eyes had opened, yet she didn't make a sound. TJ? She wondered quietly. Yes, Dolores, my sweet. I'm here, he assured her. Is the baby okay? She asked. He smiled at her compassionate request. He's fine. Everything is going to be fine. We'll be in our new home soon, he assured her. She smiled weakly at him. You'd like that, wouldn't you? He asked, stroking her hair behind her ear. She shook her head positively before closing her eyes. As Dr. Bones approached her with a needle of something, Swenson stopped his arm from advancing. She's in pain, TJ. This will make it stop, Dr. Bones explained. She can handle the pain, Swenson countered. My ladies don't get that shit. Your lady could die, TJ. Are you going to let me do my job? Dr. Bones wondered. Don't stick any shit in her. Do you hear me? Swenson raged at the doctor. I do not want their minds clouded with that crap. Fine, TJ, but she's going to hurt, the doctor told him. She can take it, Swenson insisted. Dr. Bones turned and put the needle down on a shelf nearby. What's your name? Swenson snapped, grabbing a nearby soldier. Sergeant Jacob Foster, sir, he replied sharply. You guard her, and tell me the minute he puts any drugs in her. Do you understand? Yes, sir, Sergeant Foster replied. Swenson stopped for a moment, lost in thought. Looking back to Sergeant Foster, he declared, I know your name from Erika Moore's past. She shot the Western Militia's leader for you. Foster stared back at him in disbelief. Yes, sir, he admitted. I got sent back to Kansas for retraining. At least I got out of Vegas before it was lost. Interesting, Swenson commented before he stormed out of the tent. He was crazed with frustration. Although he was concerned about Dolores, he knew he should have gone immediately to the Supreme General. Bishop could be there right now, filling his mind with memories from his past. His feet carried him towards his tent, but he stopped short, conversing with Yuri outside. Everything is quiet, TJ, Yuri told him. Are you headed in for the night? No. Get me a woman. Christy can't take what I'm giving out tonight, Swenson declared with an evil smirk. I'll bring her to your personal tent, Yuri assured him. Swenson went down a few rows of tents and entered one that was set aside for him. Feeling the warmth of a small fire burning low in a wood stove, Swenson sighed deeply, thinking on Dolores. He wondered if he should have let Dr. Bones give her the painkiller. She could probably recover faster with it, Swenson told himself. But his hatred for the drugs dominated his thoughts. He forgot all about the argument with himself as Yuri brought in a 20-year-old woman with brown hair. Her matching brown eyes opened wide, and she froze with fear when she saw Swenson. Looking momentarily back at Yuri, her eyes begged him to remove her from the situation. She dared not move as Swenson approached. Swenson could hear her heart pounding from across the room as he crept in, smelling her scent. He put his hand up and gently stroked the soft hair off her shoulders. Then he snatched her by her face, kissing her fiercely. Swenson reached out, gripping both her hands. He brought them in front of his body and put them in cuffs. Yuri left as he chained the young woman at the end of his tent. Outside, Yuri smiled under his face mask, listening to Swenson's whip crack and the woman screaming. As the cold of the night increased, everyone sought the life-saving comfort of their tents. Swenson had no plans of joining Christy that night, and continued his activities in between the naps he took throughout the night. Despite the woman's distraction, Swenson couldn't get Dolores off his mind, and his urgency to get back to the Supreme General grew as the sunless sky began to illuminate. Yuri came to get the girl in the morning with a plate of food for Swenson. Taking the woman with him, Yuri left. Swenson scarfed down the food, alone in his thoughts. Donning his gear, he headed for the medical tent. His anger increased as he arrived. Sergeant Foster was asleep in the chair next to Dolores. Did you have sweet dreams? Swenson snapped, kicking at the sergeant. Sergeant Foster jumped from his chair, taking a knee in front of the man. I'm sorry, sir. I haven't left her side, though, sir, he told Swenson. Dolores stirred, moaning. Her eyes opened a little. TJ, it hurts, she whined in pain. I know it hurts. You'll be okay, Swenson assured Dolores. Yes, TJ, Dolores responded with tears in her eyes. Where's Dr. Bones? Swenson wondered. He has a smaller tent out back, Foster replied. Stay here, Swenson commanded, putting his gear back on. Swenson subconsciously grabbed for Sheila as he approached the doctor's tent. He could see someone's foot sticking out in the doorway. Opening the flap, the two guards lay at his feet. Swenson scanned the structure for the doctor, but he was nowhere to be found. Tearing the radio from his pocket, he shouted into it, Yuri! Someone took Dr. Bones! Meet me at the medical tent. Foster, who's second in charge when the doctor's not here? Swenson asked, storming back into the tent. Dr. Keller, sir, Foster answered quickly. Go get him, Swenson directed. Yes, sir, the young man responded, hustling out the door while putting his gear on. Swenson stood over Dolores, cursing the situation in his mind. Snapping his head towards the door, Yuri entered. Get teams together and find him, Swenson insisted sharply. As Yuri left, Foster hurried back through the door with another man. Swenson wasn't expecting him to be so young, and his brown eyes sparkled with concern as Swenson looked into them. She's hurt bad, Keller. Do what you do and do it well. You answer to me, Swenson commanded, pausing for impact. Whatever it takes. His command was cut short as an electronic device buzzed in his pocket. He rapidly dug it out and stared at it in disbelief. Yuri, did you see that? Swenson asked as the buzzing sound suddenly ceased. I did, Yuri replied. Lock down the border. No one in or out. Erika Moore is inside our territory and she is not getting out, Swenson commanded. Come get me now. For all of you live, what happened in the story? Well, TJ was all twisted up about, his girlfriend got shot there, and so he's twisted up about that. And then the Dr. Bones goes missing. Dr. Bones. For
the real Dr. Bones.
Yes, yes. For those of you who don't know, that is based off of Dr. Bones and Nurse Amy, Dr. Bones. And in the audio drama that's coming out really, really soon, we might start airing that actually next week. So that's the huge bomb to drop. But he actually plays Dr. Bones in the audio drama, which is epic. So we're going to get Ellen on board with that this season as well. But at the end of the chapter, Erika's tracking signal lights up. And that's what brings us to the topic of the day, which is the tracking systems that they have going in Australia right now. So, Ellen, why don't you go ahead, take about 5 minutes, introduce yourself and what you do. I'm going to go grab my phone so I can respond to any live chat too. All right, so take it over for me.
Cool. G'day from Australia, everyone. As Sarah said, my name's Ellen Kerr. I'm a prepper, been and a massive fan of Sarah. Actually going over to see Sarah in January. So I'm actually in the Royal Australian Navy as well. I like shooting, motorbikes, all that sort of stuff. And are you
excited to shoot the AR when you come out to Texas?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is that legal in Texas?
That's legal in Texas. Yeah, maybe not for an Australian, So
with that though, I have shot one before. I had in Hawaii in their was it rangey thing where you pay you $300 a whole heap of stuff. I have shot one before, but that was in 2015. But yeah, fully keen to shoot a couple of clips.
Nice. I thought it would be your first time. Now you just blew the wind out of my sails completely.
But hey, sir, you could charge her $300 to shoot, so that's good.
That's true.
There you go.
Well, she said she'd give me a box of ammo, so that's good.
Getting close to that much.
That's definitely it. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. As I said, I've been on Sarah's podcast a few times now. And absolute massive fan of Sarah's books, her writing style. Been an absolute pleasure to actually go and meet you and become an absolute friend for life. And hopefully, Chin, I'll meet you.
Yeah, sister. No, you're going to be out at prepper camp this year, so you're going to get to meet him for sure.
Yay, prepper camp.
Yeah, it's happening. It's happening.
Yeah.
So, because we have zip ties, right? So she's not going back.
Yeah, I already told her that. I was going to keep her here, zip tie her up. Yep.
It might happen like you wrote in the book. Like I might get stuck over there.
No,
a joker.
I told Chin that you've been listening to my show for so long that you should already know how to get out of all that stuff.
Yeah. I just need to steal a sailboat.
Why don't you talk to us a little bit about what is going on in Australia and what it's like just day-to-day life now for the tracking technology that you guys are using over there?
Yeah, cool. So we have the state that I live in, New South Wales, 100 days in lockdown, and was yesterday. The state has reached 70% both vaccinations. So today, some of the restrictions have been lifted. So I can actually go to. However,
wait. You broke out through that last part. You can actually go where?
To the gym.
Okay, to the gym.
Yeah, to the gym.
Wow.
So,
They were trying to censor her.
Yeah, I know. I know. We're going to have to be careful.
Cool. So I just go over the masks. We have to wear masks. People over age of 12 must wear a face mask. All indoor areas of common property, public transport, in hospitality venues. So if I decide like our tavern pub across the road from us is opened up today, if I want to go and have a beer, I have to go in with my mask, take my mask off to drink, and then put my mask back on.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Because
so
COVID definitely knows the difference between if you're drinking or not.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Cool.
drink up.
So that's the mask rule. So we have to wear masks wherever we're out, going through drive-through. Like if I decide to go have a naughty Macca's, any of the drive-throughs, going to supermarkets, or we have to be masked up. That's the one requirement. Still under the 70% 70% vaccination rate, still have to be masked up. So with that, we have a COVID-19 safe check-in. So wherever we go, they will have a QR code on the window. We've got an app on our phone. We scan it, and it logs us into that location. They tell us it's for COVID tracking. So if there's a positive case there, they can come back and say, oh, yep, all these people were there. All those people that were there at this time, you may have to go get tested.
Oh.
So that is everywhere. And because I go across the border into a different state, the Australian Capital Territory, where I actually work, they've got a different set of rules. They've got a COVID safe check-in, which is a different app. I've got to check in all the time there. My work, where I go into work, I don't actually have to check in to go into work, but then again, because of the nature of where I work, I have to log in via biometrics anyway. So they've got my tracking data, which is
and this is all done like off. This is all done off your phone, or like at work. Are you getting like a retinal scan, or what's going on with that?
I get a retinal scan at work, and I've got my ID to get in the building.
Okay, crazy.
So, but everywhere else, we use our phone, apps on our phone.
Apps on your phone.
If you don't have a phone, like the old biddies that don't have the up-to-date iPhones,
right?
They have to. There's like a sign-in sheet you have, and once you want, and it's a requirement for the businesses that you go in to ask you, see that you've checked in. If there is like a enforcement team out, they see people not checking, the actual businesses will get fined, and it's up to $10,000.
Oh my gosh!
Per incident.
Per incident.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So, we're as I said, we've got a little bit of freedom now. I can go to the gym. However, I cannot go and I haven't been up to my block, which is a half-hour drive away from here, in 4 or 5 months. And we've had lots of rain, so the grass will be head high, right? If I want to go up there now, and if the police pull me over and say, have you got a genuine reason for going out there? I say, no, I'm going to my block. They can turn around and issue me $5,000 fine.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's a self-engaged things, but the businesses are basically having to enforce these rules.
Exactly. Yep. As well. Yep. So if they go in and if the enforcement teams go in and see that the businesses aren't complying to the social distancing requirements and stuff like that, it's a fine as well.
Oh
Any
my
of the
gosh.
requirements that So even at my work, we're on a modified work routine. So I am working 1 week it's Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and then this week I'm working now is and I work Wednesday, Thursday. So we've got three shifts that work that, and then I can't in my little cubicle. I can only have me in there. I can't. There's four desks in that cubicle. Only one person allowed to work in that cubicle.
Oh my gosh. But Ellen, I want you to answer that question about the drink limit. Are there imposed drink limits or anything like that now?
No, not at this stage. However, as you get drinking, as you get inebriated, I'd say your mask discipline will start to fade, and that's where they will
discipline.
Your mask discipline. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
I got a ticket for poor mass discipline at the bar this weekend.
Oh man, that's almost embarrassing. I've worn a mask twice this whole time, like literally. I've worn it twice.
We've got a collection in our cars. We can't go anywhere without them.
Oh yeah, how about the trash from all the masks everywhere?
Yeah, just everywhere.
Oh, I see them on the streets and the parking lots and every place.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's.
People are making.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, people are making like fabric masks and selling them. So we've all got a few of them. Just keep them washed out, so we're not using the disposable ones.
Yeah, because those ones work so well.
Yep.
It's like a bandana.
Yep.
What's the interstate travel looking like as far as is it happening? Do you have to do check-ins, that kind of thing?
No. No interstate travel from my state. I cannot go up to Queensland. I cannot go to Victoria. So
you still can't go visit your daughter.
No, I still cannot go to Tasmania.
So you're going to be able to come see me in the United States before you can go see your daughter right there.
Yes.
That
at
sucks.
this stage, yes.
I mean, I'm happy to see you. Don't get me wrong. But that really sucks.
It does, especially with the situation that we've been in. But nothing I can do. Have to roll with the punches, really. So my husband, he can't work at the moment. It does from New South Wales to Victoria in Greyhound buses, so he's still working.
Right, because he would be traveling across the border in the bus, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Coming from a hot zone down to a hot zone and then back from the hot zone. So it's bad. And then so the New South Wales Queensland border, so everyone goes to Queensland for holidays. So where all the big theme parks are. It's just like, and it's warm. Hard border between states.
Man.
People can't go up and vacation and stuff like that either. With the somewhat of freedoms coming out at 70% as of this morning, we have to have vaccination evidence. So those freedoms are only for 2 vaccinated people who've got vaccinations, and you get issued a vaccination certificate by the Australian government. So, like, not just gyms are open, but hairdressers, a lot of the retail outlets are open now.
But wait, back it up. So, so you have to have the double vax and your certificate from the government to be able to go to the gym.
Yes.
And do what else? What else? Hairdressing. What, can you go to the grocery store without it?
Yeah, we were still allowed to go to the grocery store under lockdown because that's essential service.
Okay.
But anything that wasn't essential, now they're opening up, and we have to prove that we've got our vaccinations to go.
You see, this is the mark of the beast.
And are they saying that there's like a way to an end for this, or this is just open-ended until they decide that the subjects can go about their business?
I think with all vaccinations, 80% is the mark. And that's what the Australian government has said. 80% vaccination rate is when we will get back to some sort of... my state is predicted to go 80% around the 20th of October, and we will get 80% full vaccination.
But you're still going to have to show proof.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really not over because you're still going to have to show.
Yep, it's been absolutely goddamn tough.
Yeah, because you're from the same kind of stubborn like-mindedness that I am. And I have to tell you honestly that in some of our conversations when you're like, well, we're getting used to it. That scares me. I put down the phone and I'm scared for you.
100%. And like, I don't want to go into too much of I have no malice or anything at the moment. Like, I mean, I can't be that spokesman that can go onto TV and anything with what I do. So I am trying to be that sort of, it's happening sort of thing. But deep down inside, I'm really, really scared where this is taking us. But we won't get there. It's for today. But
it does. It really just scares me for you guys because I'm like, I can't figure out how you're going to get out of the situation, and I also can't figure out how long it'll take us to get to that same space because that's exactly what they're pushing.
The foreshadowing for us, yeah, exactly. And that's what I was asking because really there's no exit if we're always going to have to prove, vax status, Well,
and then you just go to the cashless society after that, and down the rabbit hole we go. If we don't put the brakes on, like right now, then we're going to be in big fat trouble.
Ellen, I got a question for you. Along the same lines, but so the wife and I over lunch today were saying it feels like we have like 10,000 things, like we're in the middle of a major dodgeball game and they just keep bombarding us with dodgeballs. We're getting hit from every side. Do you feel that way down there? Do you feel like like there's natural things, there's government things, there's health things, there's social they're throwing as many balls as they can to keep us off our game?
Yes, that's what we feel, and I also feel with it's all about the numbers and how well we're doing that sort of stuff. What's going on in the background?
Right. You can't argue with them because they're telling you fact, right?
Yeah, and that's what the thing is that it's there's only was it 4 major networks here, 5 major networks here, and 4 of those networks are highly regulated. They are one view, only one which actually opens up to any of these conversations and can be quite controversial is Sky News Network. That's why I watch it. They are very right wing. However, they are not afraid to ask the hard questions, and that's what I like about it. But none of the other networks do that, and it's and that's what's scary. That's where they were getting all the information from.
Yep, that's
Damn
the same.
scary.
Yeah.
It's really the same here. I know because
Yep.
I'm kind of in the industry right now. I'm trying to navigate this industry a little bit, and that's basically the exact same way it is here. And I would be surprised if it's not an off branch of the same companies controlling the messages of the whole world.
Sure.
Yeah. And it's scary, but as well, it's a slow chipping away process. You get them used to this, get to that, chip away, and then at the end of the day, they're just you've nothing left.
Yeah.
Frog in the water in the pot.
That's what I keep saying. Yep. Frog in the water. You just turn it up slow. Nobody knows. Everybody, well, we're getting used to it. Oh, we're going to go back to normal. What is that normal anymore? Yep. How about for businesses, their laws for hiring people now? Oh, because they're like firing unvaccinated people here in mass quantity.
Yeah. So what is happening of the places now making like it's managed vaccination? A lot of they're state or federal stated yet, but it's scary.
So plus, it's really up to the state then.
Yeah.
Sir, on that same note, so I'm job hunting as well, and I noticed in the listings they're actually now saying proof of vaccination in job postings.
In job postings.
Yeah, I've noticed that creep into the vocabulary.
Oh man, that is a scary prospect in the vocabulary.
Yeah. So it's not federally and it's not state mandated yet, but businesses are doing it. So
okay, so it's really just up to the business.
The government's coming in the back door by asking the businesses to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And you won't be able to, like if you're a plumber, for example, and you're a company with 50 people, you won't be able to go into people's houses or to other businesses if personal aren't vaccinated. They will say, no, can't come in here.
Now, oh my gosh. So now, in your opinion, has the rates of infection actually gone down significantly since you've reached like the 70-degree mark or the 70% mark?
70 degrees.
New South Wales at the moment is averaging around about 500 infections a day. Victoria, on the other hand, they went over 2,000, which is the national record on the week a day.
So really no huge difference between pre-vax and post-vax?
The post-vax New South Wales numbers are going down, but with the Delta strain, it's proving to be very highly infectious and got a high infection rate and then it starts to go down. About a month of really, really high infection rates and then it starts to go down that slope down. But as in New South Wales, I have noticed that the vaccinations are starting to go down. But I mean, the vaccination doesn't stop you from getting it. The vaccination doesn't stop you from spreading it. You may be have it system, and you may not get. You are asymptomatic. You may have it. You may have it in your system, but not get any symptoms, and pass it on.
Yep. Which makes no difference whether you're vaccinated or not.
Exactly. The vaccination is only there to take the. Apparently, it just takes the severity off the infection.
Got you. So, what's the overseas travel restrictions? What do you got to do to make that happen?
All right. So, international travel opens at the 1st of November for for fully vaccinated Australians. So prior to when I fly in January, I have to have a test 72 hours before I fly. It has to be negative. I have to have proof I'm fully vaccinated, and I have to and prior to flying, I have to check if if LA and Texas are going to, they're going to check my vaccination status and all that sort of stuff upon arriving in America. And then when I come back, I have to have a test upon arrival, and I have to self-isolate it at home for days.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
I'm not looking forward to it. LA will be your challenge. I don't think Dallas will. So, all right. Well, we can always have you on again next week too to get into more of Australia's craziness.
Well,
but for now, let's go ahead and jump into some world craziness. All right. So, there is a CME inbound, and it is a rather significant CME. It was an M-class solar flare that erupted, and there's multiple active regions on the sun today that we have eyes on, so it's very important that we stay attentive to that. We have a coronal hole that's going to impact tonight, and depending on how it hits us and changes our solar wind, that will dictate how bad this inbound CME is going to hit us. So it is a full halo CME. They're predicting a KP of 5 or 6 to come in, but if the coronal hole causes this 5 or 6 ahead of it, it could be a KP 7 or 8. 9 is a grid down situation. So there's a 1% chance that that will actually happen. So it's not very likely, but it is something that we need to be aware of because that's some pretty major solar winds coming our way. Should affect like airports, things that use the radio technology and whatnot. Okay, there was major quake activity around Vanuatu and Puerto Rico today, so we have eyes on that. And La Palma's been getting 4.0s. And the 4.0 is also the mark at La Palma that we start looking for landslides. Landslides could mean huge tsunamis for the east coast of the United States, so all eyes on that one. Luckily, Australia doesn't have to worry about that one.
Hang on. Yeah, we had an earthquake.
I know, in Australia, it was crazy. Last week, I was like, dude, eyes on this one. Between October 2nd and the 8th, we saw major flooding in northern Spain. In India, 15.7 inches fell in 24 hours, leaving 11 dead, 500,000 people displaced. Yeah. France saw 173 millimeters of rainfall in Marseille overnight. Severe flooding in Italy on the France border. That was a huge storm that came through there. And Italy continued into the 5th. They were just getting pounded. There was also heavy flooding in the UK and London. Back home here in the States, Alabama saw flash flooding and heavy rain on the 6th. China had severe rain with a big landslide that killed 4. And Yemen, you guys, when you see the pictures of this flooding, it's just these places are a mess. So India just got hit again and again and again all week long. As far as significant volcano activity, it's called volcano in Italy. Yeah, I know. I was like, what? You can't name it volcano, right?
Volcano.
It went to a yellow level. La Palma just exploded again on the 5th. So they were hoping that would calm down, but it didn't. And now it's been getting those 4.0 earthquakes. That's a total of 1,045 buildings destroyed with La Palma and a total of 1,021 acres that got lava flow on top of them.
There's some crazy nighttime videos of that.
Yes. Dude, it was explosive.
Yeah, insane.
In Italy, Stromboli had another major eruption. And
making me hungry.
Popocai, yeah, Stromboli. And Popocai, it's making a lot of noise. It's just ash and water vapor and stuff right now, but it's making a lot of noise as well. As far as tornado activity last week, there's water spouts, these huge water spouts in France. Turkey got tornadoes. Then Italy, again, multiple tornadoes and water spouts hit there. And Saudi Arabia also had multiple water spouts coming in off the ocean. Earthquake activity over the last week, we're looking at, every day there was about 300, an average of 315, say, earthquakes magnitude 2.5 or higher. That happened every single day. The biggest of them was a 6.0 on the mid-Indian Ridge. A 7.2 in Vanuatu happened. 5.3 Indonesia sees a lot. There was a 5.9 in New Zealand. That's down in your neck of the woods there, Ellen. 5.5 in Iran. Japan was just quaking really bad this last week. Iceland, by one of their volcanoes, it's called like Keilir, Keilir. They had a swarm of 8,200 earthquakes in between September 26th and the 6th. So that's making a lot of noise. There was a big one in Pakistan, a 5.9, and then they got hit like the next day with another 5.9. Those were big quakes that came in. 6.1 in Tokyo. So the earth has been rumbling. It's been going a little wonky.
Oh,
Yeah, right? Happy, joy. That's right, because they need to do that. It needs to be done to displace energy, especially when we're getting a buildup from the sun. So as long as it just does little quakes, we're happy with that. Not the great quake. Thunderstorms, hurricanes, cyclones. On the 3rd, 9 people died in Oman and Iran as the tropical cyclone Shahan hit. It had winds sustained of 93 miles an hour. On the 4th, Melbourne saw heavy rain and hailstorms. That's your neck of the woods there, Miss Australia. Yeah, on the 4th, you guys got pummeled.
Yeah, that hail was crazy.
It was a massive band.
And how often do you guys get weather like that? Does it happen like once a year, and this was just a bad one, or?
Becoming more frequent.
Mm-hmm. Okay. On the, go ahead.
Yeah, every 2 months. At the moment, every about 2 months, we get like a massive storm like that. And it wasn't just Victoria; it smashed us as well up.
What about in years past? Would you see that every couple months, or is it like a new thing? You see it like a couple times a year, or?
Yeah, a couple of times a year, sort of thing. Yeah.
Like fall, spring type events?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Australia is the land of flood and rain, drought and rain, so it goes in cycles.
Yeah, that's what I'm noticing here in Texas. We get like the spring, fall, huge big storms. So.
Yep.
Let's see. Hong Kong got hit by the tropical storm named Lion Rock, which I thought was interesting. So that
sounds like a Disney movie,
right? Yeah, that's like I see like the little girl on the Hawaiian girl out there, she's calling it in. Colorado had this huge fireball in the sky. There's been not too many inbound meteors this week, which is pretty cool. One of the things I found really interesting was in Antarctica on the 5th, they broke the record for the coldest temperature ever recorded in that area. It was never negative 61 degrees Celsius or negative 77 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's the first time it's been that cold since 1976. So pretty neat as far as, global warming, right? In Russia, the Vostok station, this is Chin's new home.
Wait.
Yeah. Negative 110 degrees Fahrenheit, dude.
Oh, thank you.
Or negative 79 degrees Celsius. It was just short of the record for October there. And ice levels up there are the 5th highest level ever recorded. So, I could go with global change, but I cannot go with global warming. Just can't see it. On our volcano watch for the week, We are currently sitting with 27 active volcanoes. That is on the high side of things. However, the minor activity is still really low with only 12 showing minor activity, and the unrest is really low with only 28 showing unrest. So even though we're at the high end of actual eruptions, we're looking at low activity as far as other ones behind them that are showing minor activity or unrest. So that's a good note for there. If this all keeps up and this magnetic energy really messes with the core of our planet, though, so we have to be on high alert for these type of events when they come in. And if you guys want to know more about the sun activity, you want to keep an eye on that with me. Suspicious Observers on YouTube. Ben does a great job. He brings us news every single morning, and his disaster playlist. Once you watch that, you'll actually understand what is going on with our planet right now, and I highly recommend you check that out as well. It's long. You're going to devote some time to it, and I can bring you the snapshots, but I'm not going to lie. It took me a few months of watching that channel to even be able to understand what that guy was talking about. He goes fast and he's in depth. So, yeah, it's a good show. Do you ever watch that one, Chin?
I do. Not as much as you do, but I do.
Oh, I'm on it every morning, too.
Yeah.
Watching that sun. Yeah.
You're scaring James. He won't be able to sleep now.
I
so
know.
Just so that you know, the
I
commander
see him over
is
there.
a little insomniatic right now.
I see him over there crying about it. Yeah. So, no, we're all prepared in this community. We got to keep our eyes on. The flooding has actually been the most concerning to me because that's what I've seen. This last week was actually the least amount of flooding I've seen in a while. So, and our winter time's just coming right now. So it'll be interesting to see what winter has to hold for us there.
How are the California fires doing? Have they been quenched?
They're not quenched. I mean, some of them were just too big to be quenched, but the humidity is rolling back in, and they have gotten some sprinkles of rain and stuff like that. So if they can just get the dryness out of the air, that's when they can actually start getting, a good grip on a lot of them. And so that's when they just go into structure control and whatnot, making sure the fires don't burn anything. But if you still look at radar, the whole West is still spot fires across the whole thing. It's just crazy. It's been a really rough year, and they didn't need that. So, well, all right, guys. Oh, I wanted to say, we only got a minute left till this thing's going to kick me off again. We're going to get that solved next week, and then we won't be under restrictions.
I'll tell you next time.
Yeah, it's all because of you, Ellen, I think.
Yeah, nice.
We had to get restricted.
We have to keep showing our passport every 15 minutes.
Yeah, we're checking in.
Jeez.
No, thank you so much for being with us, Ellen, and we'll definitely do another show on it and where we can really jump in deeper, because I have a feeling it's not going to lift up on you anytime soon.
Yeah, I won't be able to see my parents or anything for Christmas or anything like that, so it's pretty rough. Yeah.
Man, it was really, really, really great having you on the show. I appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
All right, until next time, remember, dream,
survive.
Right?
Thank you for joining Sarah and Chen for this episode of the Changing Earth podcast. Don't forget to pick up your copy of Day After Disaster at www.authorsarahfhathaway.com. If you love the Changing Earth series,